Hey guys, Stock Series episode 65. Get yourself a free share on Trading212. They keep putting it up. Not sure whether this is for UK or just EU customers, but give it a go. So portfolio has been rough this week, down about 5,000. We've had the Evergrande sort of issues, the Chinese real estate sort of conglomerate getting involved in too much else, too much debt to pay, and there's sort of risks of a default. So that sort of caused a lot of issues earlier in the week. They're sort of 300 billion in debt. So yeah, that's caused some issues. Even gold and silver not performing too well, considering sort of things were down. A lot of people still expecting gold and silver to pick up, but it hasn't done. So got my wall of red here. A lot of these sort of, 15 to 20% down now. But carry on. Hopefully end of the year still. Hoping for a little bit of an uptick. But we'll see. So the ISA is down as well. That's just over £3,000, about 3,200. Not a lot happening in the ArcPi. That's a couple £100 of it. Most of this is Argo blockchain. So they had their listing on the Nasdaq. Seemed to be priced a little bit lower than what people were expecting. So sort of the UK market closed, and then they were sort of announcing they were listing it quite a bit below what this one was listed at. So then it sort of started trading, and yeah, the UK one sort of trickled down to where they were at. So yeah, 20% down on that in a week, which is unfortunate, but it did kind of run up in anticipation of that. Bitcoin sort of dropped a little, but I think we just need to get this quarter out of the way, and sort of generally the Q4 is pretty good for crypto, so fairly happy with this, and the extra liquidity from the Nasdaq should help. So yeah, see where we go with this. A lot of the others, some sort of issues, I guess. Some of the REITs have dropped. Don't know whether any of this is to do with Evergrande or just sort of wider knocks on the market, or if that's American Tower. It's only 4%. That's sort of a little bit of a knock. Bitcoin, as I say, Bitcoin itself is down. So the Bitcoin ETP is down 10%. Nothing too much. Sentiment actually up, even though a lot of the gold is down. Digital Realty down a little as well. So the sort of Digital Realty and American Tower, the sort of higher priced REITs. First Majestic's down because silver's been extremely volatile up and down. That's down 4%. Polymetal down a couple of percent. And yeah, Stag's down a little as well. Sylvania sort of again down quite a bit earlier in the week, but has recovered a little, but still 3% down. The Tritax is down quite a bit. Eurobox less so. Vici actually in the green. So yeah, that's the ISA back below 50,000 now, which is interesting. Hopefully, as I say, sort of an uptick towards the end of the year. And the invest side, actually very strange week. So it's dropped obviously on the Evergrande news earlier in the week, but has sort of picked up some reasonable sort of gains across the board with some red. But incredibly, sort of, as you can see, the line towards the end, pretty much where it started with, and I'm down £6 with this sort of portfolio size, I thought that was incredible. £6. I'm not even going to do the percentage. It's probably less than a 100th%. So yeah, we've had sort of some up and downs. This Airtel Africa, sort of the semi-replacement for BT maybe in the short term, doing quite well, up a couple of percent this week and nearly, well, sort of 4.5% or so overall. Pretty happy with that. Chinese tech continues its downturn, obviously. Whether this is sort of partly the tech, partly Evergrande, not really sure, but that's not done too well. Archer Daniels down as well. ASOS actually coming back a little, but that was at £30, so not so long ago. Viva, pretty flat. Baidu, down, but not quite as much as, or not nearly as much as Alibaba. Still hoping to, hopefully in the crypto sell-off later this year, put a reasonable amount into sort of all three of these Chinese techs. So Bank of Nova Scotia's fairly flat. Barrett sort of a little bit up and down, but flat. Bristol Myers down a little. I think that's a longer term one. Broadcom sort of took a bit of a dip, but is back. Caterpillar, pretty much the same. eBay down a little. So FedEx, yes, this was an interesting one. Sort of come out with earnings results, not quite as good as they were expecting. Not disastrous though, but they sort of forecast a little bit of weakness going forward. Do think this sell-off's probably a little bit overblown though. Not really sort of adding to it at the moment, but yeah, maybe sort of later on this year, if I'm investing sort of a reasonable amount in here, probably top this up. Seems a little bit of an overreaction. Glencore sort of recovering reasonably well, 2% up on the week. HP slightly up. Himax a little bit down, nearly went to $10 earlier in the week. Intel flat. International Papers slightly up. Invesco quite a bit down. ETFs haven't done a lot, so all sort of within a percent. Even clean energy, not a lot happening there. J&J, Kia Group up slightly. Water ETF up slightly. Lennar down a little. Lockheed doing quite well. Defence, always like that. That's been sort of down for a little while now, so that's recovering a little. Micron pretty flat. Nintendo flat. Porsche up slightly. Prosus actually, considering sort of the Tencent hasn't done particularly well, they're up, so that's pretty good. Maybe some of the discounts starting to shorten. Raytheon up again. Defence up, doing well. They've got a sort of more of an aviation side as well than Lockheed, so that seems to be doing well at the moment. See EasyJet and sort of IAG, British Airways, doing quite well. Renault, not too bad, 2.5% nearly. Rio Tinto up slightly, even though steel price down. Shell having a good week, 6.3% on the week. I think this is sort of near enough longer term high, so it was at sort of £15 back in March, but that's about it. I think that is pretty much a new high since I've been investing. So oil's at sort of 3-4 year highs, so that's doing well. Seeing more about their sort of transition to greener times as well. They're sort of going for charging networks, sort of battery charging networks and sort of lots of different things really. Not wanting to buy companies though, they want to do it sort of build it from the ground up. Samsung pretty flat. Sega up a little. Seneca down a little. Yeah, not too much happening there. Sony doing quite well, 6%. Had a little look at the news. Seems they're getting into the Indian streaming market. Seems a little bit strange. Sort of merged with, or their sort of Indian unit has sort of merged with another Indian company and sort of trying to take on Disney. Disney seems to be sort of the leader in streaming in India. And yeah, Sony going for a bit of that market. It's very difficult to follow Sony. They're so sort of diverse. You've got the gaming side and the sort of photography side, and then Sony Pictures and all sorts. But I do like them as a conglomerate. Small cap ETF doing quite well. Stellantis pretty flat. TSMC down a little. Taylor Wimpey down a little. Tesla's up, of course. Turtle Beach, not too good, but has been doing quite well. Tyson, pretty flat. Vale or Vale down. They've had an ex-dividend of sort of nearly a 10% dividend, so no surprise there. That's down. I'll just get that money back later on, but makes the portfolio sort of look a little bit lower in the interim. Again, it's not all the dividend, steel price as well. They're quite heavy on steel. They're getting rid of some of their sort of less eco-friendly stuff like coal, which is good. Don't mind them sort of losing a little bit if they're going to drop the coal and move more towards sort of the nickel side. Yeah, only a small position at the moment. Would like to build it up later on. Video games down a little, Beatrice down a little, and Volkswagen pretty flat. So, yeah, interesting. Not really sort of too many big movers. So, considering the down movers, I was quite surprised to be sort of basically flat, almost as flat as can be. So, yeah, $5,000 down. Interesting times. Have to sit through this sometimes and see what the future brings. Leave your thoughts in the comments below and like and subscribe. See you soon.